Hey everybody, it's Coach Bruce T here. Time for our second video. We've done one video already. This is our second, and one day we'll be saying this is our 200th, 2000th, 2 millionth video. All right, but I want to thank you each for coming back and checking out this second video. If you did, it's because you really enjoyed the first one. And if you didn't enjoy it, maybe you'll enjoy this one. So before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe somewhere in this rectangular box thing here so that you can be up to date on everything that we post to this channel. On our last video, we spoke about the words that come out of our mouth and specifically about saying, I'm sorry. How you are making a declarative statement and you are declaring yourself to be something less than what you are and who you were created to be, and it's so much easier and so much better just to make an action statement and say, hey, I apologize. So to tag on to that, let's go into something a little bit deeper, right? So that we can tie all these things together. To tag on to the last video where it's something you've accidentally done, it's a mistake that you made, and you simply say, hey, I apologize, my bad, oops, I'll do my best not to ever do that again. What happens if somebody does something to you, right, that offends you or upsets you or you find disrespectful? You know, a lot of people get offended when somebody does something and that person doesn't apologize or they don't say, I'm sorry, right? Because that's what we're taught, you know, growing up. So when you do something wrong, you apologize, you say, you know, you're sorry. So what do you do when you're in that position that you find yourself offended or upset or disrespected because somebody did something wrong and they didn't say they were sorry or they didn't apologize, right? So a lot of times we harbor those feelings, right? And we cut ties with that person. We don't want anything to do with them anymore. They offended us. They disrespected us. But there's an old saying that goes something like this. When you can see a little bit of yourself in somebody else, you can resolve all conflict. Let's say somebody came up to you and they bumped into you, or they said something to you that you didn't find very kind, or you thought it was a little brash, you know, and it hurt your feelings, rubbed you the wrong way, or something of that nature. Let's say you tried to say good morning to somebody and they just kind of brushed you off and they're all in a pissy mood and, you know, they're all in their feelings and this, that, and the other. And, you know, you're like, wow, that was really rude. You know, all I did was try to say good morning, you know. You got two choices, right? You can let that get inside your head, right, which will filter down into your heart, and you can allow it to ruin the rest of your day or how you treat other people through the course of the day, to the point where even how you treat yourself through the rest of the day. You can cut that person off. You cannot say good morning to them ever again. You know, you can act like they're not even there. They don't exist, this, that, and the other. Or you might even try to get even and be like, okay, well, you know what? Next time I see them, I'm gonna let them know it, right? You're gonna bump into them, or you're gonna be rude or short or sarcastic or sassy or whatever to them, right? But where a lot of people fail is what they need to do is just pause. Take a second, get out of your own feelings, and then ask yourself, why did that happen? What's going on in their world that would cause them to treat me or say something to me as they just did, right? People at work are usually a lot different than they are at home, right? Or in their outside life, right? So we wear all these masks, we wear all these labels, which we're going to go into in another video. We're going to go deep into labels, because labels belong on clothes, they don't belong on people, right? But we've allowed society to throw all these labels on us, and you know, we act a certain way and think a certain way and, you know, interact a certain way and things of that nature. But again, not to go down that rabbit hole right now, that's going to be for a later video. You were offended, you were butthurt, you know, you felt disrespected because of whatever, right? So there's an old saying that goes, when you can see a little bit of yourself in somebody else, you can resolve all conflict. So basically what that means, if you were just to pause for a moment and put yourself in that person's shoes and try to imagine what's going on in their world that would cause them to be rude or disrespectful and not apologize or not say they're sorry or something of that nature. Now, instead of being emotional about the situation, now you're being intellectual about about the situation, and you're trying to seek understanding. When you can understand why somebody has done something, you release all emotional attachments. You can't be mad when you understand why somebody did something. You can't be upset when you understand why somebody said something, because now you understand. Because you've taken the time to put yourself in their position, and you have to ask yourself, well, gosh, if I had that going on in my life, maybe I would have reacted or said the same thing. Okay, now I get it. So instead of being offended and upset and all emotional about what they did that they didn't say they were sorry for or apologize for, now but that we understand, now what can we do to make that situation better? Maybe that person just needs somebody to talk to. Maybe you're the one that should go up to them and say, hey, is everything okay? I don't know what you got going on right now, but I know you're not being yourself. And if you just need somebody to vent to, or a shoulder to cry on, or somebody just to listen, I just want to let you know I'm here. We can go off to the side, we can have lunch together, or whatever the case is, right? Or you can go up to that person and say, hey, I apologize for being upset with you because you bumped into me or because you said something that I felt disrespectful and I really didn't like, but I understand that there's something else going on, and I'm here if you need any help with that. Go up and give that person a hug. Maybe that hug could change their world, change their whole day. Maybe there's nobody at home to hug them, and that's what they're upset about. Maybe they haven't heard somebody give them anything positive to feel that day. Maybe they didn't get an I love you, or hey, I'm going to miss you, or hey, can't wait to see you get back home. Maybe you never know. Maybe they got into an argument with their spouse. Maybe their spouse is sick and they're carrying around all this stress. Maybe their child's not doing well in school. Maybe there's something going on with their family. Somebody in their family, their mother or their father, or their grandma or their grandpa or something of that nature isn't doing too good. Maybe their husband or their wife just got laid off. Maybe they got, the whole COVID thing. You never know what's going on inside somebody's life, right? So instead of sitting there and judging them and bashing them and being all emotional because they bumped into you or they said something you didn't like, try to put yourself in their shoes, right? Again, when you can see a little bit of yourself in somebody else, you can resolve all conflict. So once you understand what might be going on in that person's life, maybe you owe them an apology instead of them owing you one. But first you apologize to yourself. You apologize to yourself for getting so discombobulated, for letting it affect you the way that it did. Because really at the end of the day, it's not a big deal, right? Now let's say somebody really truly did something that offended you. Most everybody is harboring some feelings from somebody that did something wrong to them, last week, last year, 10 years, 20 years ago, that they haven't forgiven them for, right? Well, go back in time. Try to understand what happened, right? Get out of your own feelings. Get out of your own being offendedness, right? And try to put yourself in that person's shoes. What did they have going on in their life at the time that caused them to say or do whatever it was that they said or did to you? And when you can understand why they may have said it or why they may have done it, you can let those emotions go. And then you forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for being offended. Forgive yourself for getting upset. Forgive yourself for lowering yourself to a position that you're already above. And then if you choose to, you forgive them as well. If you need closure, get closure. You might want to give them a phone call, write them a letter, send them a text, send them an email, whatever is going on and however you choose to communicate. And get that closure and move on. But this is what I urge you to do. The next time somebody says or does something that you find disrespectful or offensive, or they're acting a certain way that you're not used to them acting like, and you don't really care for it, Instead of being emotional about it, instead of reacting to it, take a breath, pause for a second, and ask yourself, what might be going on with that person or in that person that just caused them to do that or say that? And then go talk to them. Ask them. Say, hey, this isn't like you. Is there something going on that you want to share? Something going on that you want to talk about? Do you need a hug? Have I done something that you thought was offensive or disrespectful that I need to apologize for? Seek understanding. And when you do that, you'll resolve all conflict. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked about the video. Let me know what you didn't like about the video. Let me know if there's any certain topic or particular issue that you would like me to cover. If you want to know more about me, simply ask, right? I'll be revealing a little bit more about me as time goes on, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until next time, love you guys. God bless.